What's up, everyone? We got Koty from The Human Condition.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, dude, I'm pumped. So you guys are kind of like, just when you come to Nashville, like for us, you know, it's like there's two really big names that you learn really quick, and it's The Human Condition and Tell the Wolves.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
So yeah, so it's really cool. Like, thank you so much for coming. Like, it's really exciting and nerve-wracking for me. I was like, whoa. That's why I was like, when I told you, I was like, so like scary to message. You know, I was like scared. I was like, they're just so good, you know?
Nah, man. I mean, I wanted to do this. Like, being on a podcast is something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I saw Norman was on this one.
Yeah.
I was like, And like, I wanted to message you.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, no, it worked out perfectly because, like, I got Norman on, and we, which I saw too, that you play some Final Fantasy.
I am very much into Final Fantasy as well. Yeah, yeah. Final Fantasy 9 was one of the first games I played on PlayStation.
Yeah,
so.
That's dope. Is that your favorite?
Oh, yeah, hands down my favorite.
Really? Did you play 8?
Okay. You're going to be real upset with me. I didn't really like 8.
Yeah.
And that I may have been, like, too young when I played it, because, like, the draw system, like, is kind of overwhelming for me.
Yeah. It was a lot, yeah.
But with like the remaster that just came out, I'm gonna pick it up again.
Yeah,
give it another shot.
That's what I've been playing. I played a little bit today and everything. You don't have time like when you're a kid, you know, and that sucks.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So like I've just been creeping, you know, like through it and everything. But anyway, I guess go into the back. So Human Condition started in 2011, and like late 2011, and that was from Goodbye Apathy. Was like their kind of
So back in like 06, 07, Goodbye Apathy started, and that band lasted until about 2011, and like there's member changes. Yeah, it was getting kind of stale, so they decided to change the name to Human Condition, kind of change styles a little bit. Yeah. And then I eventually came in around 2012.
2012, yeah. And I saw that you were actually going to play guitar for, like, there was in talks of you like playing guitar for Goodbye Apathy.
There was. I did try out one time, and that's when they picked Ian actually instead. But I mean, it eventually came
full
around.
circle. Yeah, because they had another guitarist, and then he's one of the like founders of Human Condition, and then they got you on. Yeah. So and then you released see, it was Death Blessings DIY. You did that all yourselves.
I almost forget that that's a thing.
Yeah, like I know. What I was gonna say. I was
thinking like, is that us? Yes, it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you gonna ever put it on Spotify or anything?
I don't think we even have the masters. I don't know.
Just go to Bandcamp and download them, and
then. No, I'd like to, because like there's people that don't even know that exists. Yeah, and like it. Back when we put it out, it was on a bunch of like blog spots. I mean, that kind of shows you how long ago it came out too. So like, there's like people that like still like will know that from like other states when we go out. Yeah, and it's just like I myself forget that was a time in our band, but it's possible now. Now you bring that up, I'll see if we can do that.
Yeah, that'd be cool because I was going through Spotify and I saw it wasn't on there, and I read through some of the. It was funny because the like review that I read through, they're talking about how. Like, it started off melodic, and then it wasn't melodic, and I was like, they just need to listen to the new shit, because, like, you definitely got more melodic.
There was a plan the whole time for it to go in the more melodic direction.
Yeah, you just had to ease people in. Yeah. Slowly release some stuff. Yeah, it's really cool. And then, so Grow House Recordings, was that, like, your guys' thing, or?
Okay, so, Cody Stewart. He plays for the Browning. He now... I think was under Reforce Media. I don't know if that's still his thing now. Yeah. But that's just Koty Stewart. That's the first thing that he ever went under. And I believe Death Blessings may have been like one of the first records he ever.
That's crazy because he did. I know he did Selfish Love.
Yeah, he's done all of our stuff.
So he's done all of it.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. So it's just that's a name that he probably hasn't heard in a long time. Yeah, so I have to bring it up.
Throwback. Yeah. That's cool. And then the other thing, the big change that I saw was like when I was going through everything was like 2014 is when you guys you went through a couple lineup changes.
Yeah, we were plagued with lineup changes from late 2013 all the way up until man, how long has David been in the band? It's been about 2 years now, so yeah, just like 3 years of constant lineup changes. To find
people. It's tough, man.
I mean,
especially you guys like touring and everything so much. I'm sure that's hard to.
Because like we had a vocalist change. In 2013, and our old vocalist Brett Eisen, he's like a pro wrestler now. He's really
really?
Good. Yeah. So be on the lookout for him.
That's dope.
But he owned the van that we were using, so when he left, we had to stop everything.
Yeah.
One, find a vocalist, and that's like the most important part of a band, I feel. So like finding someone that's going to be our identity, and then having to grow, get a van again.
Yeah.
That took 3 years.
Yeah.
So it took a lot of time to get this solid lineup, but like I'm completely happy with everyone in the band, and yeah, we're ready to keep going.
Yeah, because so 2017, that's when everything was kind of, because that's when you released Esoteric Answers.
Yeah. 2017. We had another bass player then, but it's just bass.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, 2017 is when like getting that full length out was years in the making at that point, because we had all those songs written like 3 years before.
Yeah.
It's just, it took so long in between vocalists and getting everyone back on the same page and then recording. Mm-hmm. And it took a while, but it all came together exactly how it had to.
Yeah. Is that the same album that, because I know when you guys did Death Blessings, you're already talking about how you're writing for
yes.
new, is that the same one?
Yes. There's the song Obsession on that album was written at the same time Obsession 2 from our EP we just put out this year, which I know we'll get to. Those were written at the same time, right after we finished writing Esoteric Answer. So it's been like 6 years. Yeah. And all those old songs have finally
crazy.
Now.
Did they go through like a lot of tweaks? Like, did you ever keep, messing with them, or were they pretty...
a lot of it is kind of true to how it was then. There's like one like middle section in Obsession 2 that had to change a little bit, but honestly, it almost was untouched.
Yeah,
over 6 years.
That's crazy. That's cool though. It's how you got a good song if you can sit on it and like.
It's because when I said earlier that we had a plan, and it's like that song. Like when I wrote it, I knew like we can't put this out how we are now.
Yeah,
and everyone else in the band didn't want to put that song out. It was just like we called it too mature at the time. Because like we were all like early 20s, still wanting to be like the heaviest band in town. Yeah. And then here I come with like this big long chorus, pre-chorus stuff and clean sections, and it's just like we weren't ready for it. Right. But I made sure to keep it.
Yeah.
Just so when we were ready for it, which we just were this year.
Right.
And brought it back.
That's cool. It's funny you say that, because it was really cool to kind of watch you guys grow and everything too, like just going through everything. And yeah, it started off as like, we're heavier than your favorite band. I know that was like your guys' big.
Yeah, we had a tank top that caused a stir in the scene. Yeah, it was based off of Dodgeball. We're like better than you and we know it, or something like that. So we put
the Cobra.
We had the Cobra on the front, and on the back it said we're heavier than you and we know it.
Yeah,
and I mean we were still like getting to be kind of melodic then, so like it wasn't true.
Right,
it never was true. But it's just we knew that creating that kind of stir would cause people to look. Yeah, and it worked.
Yeah, that's some ways, because then there's going to be people that are like, this is heavier than, and then
right. And then if the people that are like mad about it, it's like, okay,
they're posting about it and everything too.
About it, and also like prove us wrong. Mm-hmm. Like start a band, be heavier, and let's all do business.
Yeah, true. That's cool. But yeah, and just like the growth of like where you guys are at now, it's all so clean, and Paul, I feel like just all the marketing aspect just looks really good.
I appreciate that. We were meticulous about wanting the presentation to be like as good as possible, and to have like a consistent way that everything looks, and it just all is concise, I guess is what I'm getting at. And I mean, I'm not 100% happy with everything, but like everything is great that we did. I think we could all, like, I'm never satisfied.
Right.
I always think we can do more, do better. But for what everything has come out of everything, I mean, I cannot complain.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it all looks really good, and you're at where you're at, and that's a solid thing.
I'm happy about everything.
All right. I mean, so then we get to the latest EP, Why Haven't You Let Go, which released couple months ago in August 5th.
August 5th.
But so you released this is a crazy story on my end, Selfish Love, the music video for that. And I remember I shared it, and then one of my friends was like, I know this band. Like, his name was Stan Smith. Well, Stan Bakerton would be like his, and he was from Wichita, and he said that he tried to like get you guys out there to book, which is where I'm from, and like he was like in our brother band, you know, like that. He played in a band called Untapped Market, and so yeah, he was just like, I know these guys, like I saw like when I was going through the post too, I saw that you guys said like, is there any promoters in Wichita, Kansas, and he like commented. It's just like this really weird, you know, like because I'm really good friends with him, and then like moving here where it's a small world
for sure, and like. Yeah, like through the years, like we've met so many people through touring and also like trying to be like active on social media. It's like when people move here, because I mean everyone moves to Nashville, almost no one's from here. Like there's usually like some person that has some weird connection like with us, and like it blows my mind to think like how far it's like kind of like reached. Yeah, and I mean. I hope there's just more of that.
Yeah, it is wild. Like just your guys' reach and be able to do all the tours and everything, which I definitely want to get into. And then I kind of wanted to go into Selfish Love because I love the lyric. When will I realize that this life may not be for me? I thought that hit me hard.
It can mean a lot of things for a lot of people. And like for our like lyrical content, like it's very important for me and for our vocalist Isaiah to have lyrics that aren't like too that you can't relate to because it's too specific. That's what I'm looking for. And like so like when it's just it's not vague, but you can apply it to whatever you're going through in life.
Sure.
Whatever that's going on that may not be for you in your life, you can take that lyric and
I just thought that was such a great lyric because it's broad and because like for me it's just like I know people who, you know, just they're like not meant for this world kind of thing. And so that's like how I took it in that aspect. But I know that could be like you're pursuing something and you're like, maybe this isn't for me. And like there's so many ways to take it. And I thought that was really cool. And this EP I saw you said that it was written just kind of like different stages of like your guys's.
So I mean, going back to like some of those songs being from 2013, like so for like that EP was 6 years in the making of me and just different stages of my life writing songs. And for like all the members of the band, we grew so much as people, and some of us were not even attached to this band, going through things at the time we were working on this, and like it was just just a culmination of so many years of work, and it really feels like just the closing of a chapter to start another.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. And then so Shogunai. Yes. I listened to the pronunciation like 3 times before you came because I was like, I'm gonna get it right, and then I didn't. But that means it can't be helped.
Yeah, it's just a Japanese phrase that we don't like have a word for in English. But yeah, like so, if something it is what it is. Yeah, you can't do anything about it.
So you released a music video for that in October of 2018.
Yes,
which was awesome too.
Yeah, my timeline's off. It feels like that was like not that so long ago. Yeah. But then again, it's been a year.
That is weird to think of. Yeah, we released our EP last October, and I was thinking about that. I was like, we haven't released a song in a year, because it doesn't feel like that, because you're just always working, you know, so to you, but like to other people outside, you know, time goes on. But yeah. Was that one done by the same people that did?
Yes.
It was Black Static Imaging?
Yeah. Yeah, Austin from the band Ravener
Mm-hmm.
He did all those 2 music videos for us. They were great. We actually filmed Shogun I before the Selfish Love video, like months before, and then just how the way of editing things and when like Kyle from Body Snatcher was available and having to film that part, and then just scheduling things. It's just that video ended up being the first one. Then Shogun I came out later, even though it was filmed way before.
That's crazy. Yeah. It's weird how all that works out. We talk about it all the time, but like people don't see all the behind the scenes, stuff, and there's just so much that goes into it. And then I wanted to talk about Obsession. It makes more sense now because I did have a question about that, and having them written kind of at the same time, but doing like the two, like why, like what made you choose to go off of that song?
So
it's like going from Obsession and then doing a second,
right? When Obsession was written and then Obsession 2, they're both in the same key, and back at the time when they were being written, our old vocalist was very into the movie The Green Mile, and they were supposed to be called Roll On 1 and Roll On 2, because in the movies, whenever they're gonna like execute someone, they yell Roll On 1 for the first like electricity thing, then Roll On 2 means like the person's about to get got. So yeah, it's supposed to be called that.
Yeah.
And the lyrics are going to be about the movie as a concept EP. So that's why they are always kind of a 2-parter. Because if you listen to the end of Obsession, there's like a drum, like toms, which if you didn't know there was a part 2, you would think that's really random and it doesn't go anywhere. But it's the same rhythm of Obsession 2 that is now out, and people can listen to it kind of concurrently, and it'll kind of lead into each other.
Yeah, that's cool. I love stuff like that. I talk about that a lot with Norman, like just when songs play off of each other.
Yeah.
And
I can't confirm or deny that there won't be an Obsession 3 and make it a trilogy, because I love trilogies.
Yeah, there you go.
But it might be in the works. Who knows?
That's cool. Yeah, and just like taking little pieces and transforming them and stuff. I think that's so cool.
Yes.
And then Von Flew.
Yes.
That song like blew up. I saw
it did. I that's one of my favorite songs that like I've ever written, and everyone really like stepped up for their parts in that song, and it couldn't have come out any better.
Yeah, because I saw like just on Spotify like the numbers on that, and I was like, that's so cool. Like, did you guys do any like marketing for it? Or was that just like from sharing?
We got on some playlists. So everyone wants to like break the Spotify algorithm or like figure out how to get on the big playlist, because like Owls in the Attic, they got a song on like the metalcore playlist, like the Spotify branded one, as did Tell the Wolves, and it just happened overnight for them. Like the curators just like, oh, I'm gonna put that on there,
right?
And for us, we talked to a couple different curators for some playlists and got onto those, and we happened to get on those at the same time that these curators were really like pushing their numbers and trying to grow their playlists. So for us to like, we got #1 spot on the playlist at the same time as he was really pushing it. So we just very mutually benefited from that.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
I'm very happy. And it's still like, it got us from like, we were at maybe 300 monthly listeners or something like that. So now we're like consistently between 1,500 and 2,000, which is still like nothing like too huge in the grand scheme of things, but it's just like, for it to be consistent at that still is...
Yeah, because that means people are coming back, and it's not just like that one time they're shuffling the playlist. Yeah. Like, that means people are coming back. And
like, we didn't do too much marketing with the EP. It just... I honestly don't even know why. I think we did get like another like playlist placement with it. But like, even when we first put out the EP, like the first week numbers on that was still like over 1,000 streams on each of the new songs that weren't out already. So like it's there.
Yeah,
like, the audience
for sure.
Really
you guys have a fan base, and that's the really cool thing, which kind of separates. It's like breaking past that. Yes. That there's like the local level, and then it's like breaking out of that to having like fans that are gonna kind of follow you, and are like engaged rather than just like your friend listening to the song and being like, yeah, man, that's really cool, you know?
Yeah, it's I mean, it's hard to break out of the local level. It's hard to stay out of the local level too. And like for me, like I mean, we're always going to be a Nashville local, and I'm always going to rep the city, and I'm always going to feel like a local band from Nashville. Yeah, and so to like for me to kind of in my brain think that we are a regional band or whatever you want to call it, it seems like I'm just like thinking too much about that, or thinking it's like bigger than it is, but like it's honestly not for me to even like worry about at that point. But yeah, no, I mean it's hard to break out from the local scene
for sure. Do you think that it came from all the tours? Because you guys, I mean, it was pretty much like you released Death Blessings and then just kind of started touring.
We just kind of did it. Yeah. We did the DIY thing. I mean, at the right time, really. Had we not like had to have a bunch of member changes, and we could have like consistently built off that, I mean, who knows what could have happened? Yeah. We did in 2013. We did multiple like over 3-week tours that whole year, and it was great. And then now. It took us years to even play out of town again. Yeah. And now we've tried to consistently play out of town, if not do like a week run. Because now that we're all like older and have like some more responsibilities, it's a lot harder to get out there. But like once the right opportunity comes along, I mean, we're going to take it. We want to do this. Right. So yeah, like we just wanted to do it back then, and we did it. Got a van. We traded in cars, like our personal vehicles and stuff. And put money down on top of that to get this van. And then I would be the one that would like try and reach out to bands and promoters to try to get anything, just playing door deals on Tuesdays in the middle of Oklahoma kind of stuff. Yeah. You know? And like, if you can get through the DIY stage and just like basically wasting your money and you still want to do it, then I mean, it's just, you're made for that lifestyle. For sure. And I feel that all 5 of us in this band are made for that lifestyle right now. And yeah, we're going to do it.
Yeah, definitely. You're doing it. So yeah. I was going to ask you that you did probably most of the booking for you guys. Cause I know that you do that here, you know, and like get bands on stuff. So I was wondering if it it started with.
Right. Yeah. DIY booking really like taught me how the business side of it works. So yeah, I was the one that would do the booking when we were DIY, which I mean we still are DIY. We've only had like one tour book that had an agent attached to it. And like I would do it just because I was best at emailing and I wouldn't like misspell things. Yeah. So just like over time, I just learned all the terms people use and just how to what made sense. As far as us being a baby band trying to play like a good market on a weekend, like you have to really take some bad deals before you get the good deals.
Yeah. Did you do like an EPK and stuff? Like
no, I still don't know how to do that. Really? I don't have a clue how that works.
Yeah, because I've always thought about that for whenever trying to book stuff. I just all that stuff is over my head for sure. It's like learning a whole new thing.
I honestly. Like before we had like music videos and stuff, I honestly don't remember how I got any of the dates we did. Yeah. I think it's more of like trying to like show trade back then with bands in other cities. Yeah. Saying like, if you help us out here, I'll get you a show in Nashville. Knowing that like the deal I'm going to be able to get them in Nashville is horrible. Right. But I'll still try and get them a date in Nashville if I can, you know. So yeah, basically show trades is really how it started and how it should start for young bands trying to do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea too. Because then you kind of build like those connections. Are you ever talk to anybody is anybody else still going on that you met from back then? Or?
Oh yeah. We've played Augusta, Georgia twice this year. And that was one of the cities where I knew a guy. He helped us get booked. And I mean, to this day, 6 years later, we still have a relationship with them. And we love playing there.
Was that the Bloodfest?
Yeah, Bloodfest.
It was like 100 degrees or something like that.
That was, it'll go down as one of the best shows we've played, just for what it was, but also one of the worst shows we've ever played, also for what it was. Because, I mean, like going out of town to play with Acacia Strain, Kubla Khan, on a big fest with all your like friends' bands and hanging out all day. That sounds cool. But also, on the other hand, it was 100 degrees outside. It was hotter in the venue than it was outside. It was like 300 people in a real small, tiny space. And also, we were the lightest band on the bill.
Oh, really?
Yes. And
hell yeah.
It was not our crowd, which I mean, I love everyone was there. And I know not everyone's going to be into the same stuff. Right. But like, we're like not like a ride bell beat down band. Yeah. Like what's hot right now. So like, not everyone was into it, but I still had a great time. Wouldn't trade it. Great.
Yeah, that's cool.
So when you're talking about how you kind of had the idea of where you guys are going to go, did you always want to go to like clean singing?
Yes. I always at least wanted clean singing. Just because I when I was growing up and first getting into playing music and playing guitar, I liked like Avenged Sevenfold and Trivium, Bullet for My Valentine, that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying I ever wanted to be that kind of band, but it's just where I got my start. So like metalcore, like that's what I always kind of want to be.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the cool thing at the time or anything like that, like that's still like where my songwriting brain is, and also it's where my heart is. Yeah. If you want to say that.
Yeah, for sure. I think that it's cool to blend. I think it's really cool when you can take like the really heavy shit, and then also mix in, the melodic.
It's hard, to like make it really fit together, and like making a song that is a concise thought that can go from a really heavy thing to a singing chorus, back to a heavy breakdown, and then a bridge section back into the chorus. But it's also very heavy. It's not easy.
Yeah, it is.
That's just songwriting in general. I feel like it's always like, how do I make this work and flow? And that's what we're trying to learn right now.
Yeah, putting the puzzle pieces together. Yeah, it's usually like for me, something I focus on early on in my like songwriting history is transitions.
Yeah.
You can write a good riff or a good breakdown or a good chorus, but it's how you go out of a riff into a breakdown or out of a breakdown into a chorus or something like that. It really is the key to making it fit, of course. But like, I remember one of the bands that I really paid attention to for transitions was Veil of Maya, actually. Mm-hmm. And like, we don't sound like them at all, and I barely listen to them now. But yeah, they're like a big band. Like, I really thought like transitions were very important.
Yeah, I feel like that's the hardest part too. Like,
oh yeah,
because I don't know, there's something about, even if, which we're kind of getting better at now, because the next riff will kind of play off of, like, when I was a kid, I would just write something and then I'd write something else and then just, smash them together. And so now I try not to do that, but I feel like I've always struggled with writing good transitions. And
that we have one song in particular that stands out for me with that. It's our song Exonerated off Esoteric Answer. Like the riff in that's really hard. And so I knew that the chorus was going to be the next part of the song. Mm-hmm. So for me, like I was thinking, okay, so my hand is up here for this riff and I need to be down here for the next lead. What do I do to get there? So I thought of like a transition riff and you put a fill under it. And not only does it sound cool, I'm also exactly where I need to be for the next part. Sense. Yeah, so being, I guess, economic, one of those words is the right way.
Well, and that stuff probably comes from like playing so many shows, and you're like, I have to be able to do this live.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That is definitely something that people, I think, in their songwriting they don't really think about is playing these songs live. Yeah. And like you have to be able to stand there and possibly have to hit a button on your gear when also you have to go and do this stuff. So like you really you can't. You got to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
For being able to play the songs live, even vocally.
For sure.
Our song Shogunai, when our vocalist wrote like the vocal melody for like the chorus, and how like in the middle of the song, like it plays like 16 measures of him doing like the pitched yelling. It wears him out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there was a ton of thought put into like, we have to do this live. But like we figured it out and stuff, like, so it works, but you got to really think about what you're doing in the studio.
Yeah.
Because it's got to translate.
That was our biggest mistake, like on the EP. First, we just met Huff. And so we were kind of learning what he could do, and we figured out he could do those, like, you know, those pitch screams and like sing really high. Yeah. So we just went like the entire EP. And so that's why like we're trying to figure it out for live and stuff now. And that's why we've been practicing a lot, you know, more trying to get back into playing live. And but it's pretty much like reworking the entire EP like vocally because it doesn't make sense to be able to sing at the top of your range for, you know, 35 minutes. And it's like, I don't know why we didn't think about it.
Exactly. But I mean, even if it's not like one part in a song that's hard, like you also have to think your 30-minute set, like what you're going to be doing the whole time. Yeah. So it's, you learn from it. Yeah. Everyone needs to make some mistakes to learn from. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. And that's just the joy of music and going on. I always think about that, like people I played with as kids and stuff. And it's like, just how much more you learn, you know, because we kept doing it.
Yeah, for real. Like there's so many mistakes that I've made throughout playing in bands, and like there's some stuff like I wish someone would have told me back then that like what I was doing was really bad or really dumb. But then again, like I learned a valuable lesson that I can pass on to someone else.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times, like somebody might warn you, but you don't really understand until you like do that mistake, and you're like, oh, okay, now.
Some people did warn me. I didn't listen to it.
Just like now it makes sense. Like you were right. Yeah. You know, because especially when you're a kid and you're like, I don't know for you, but like playing guitar and stuff. And when you're 17 and can sweep and, you know, like that's all really cool. So you're just like, I'm just going to write this ridiculous stuff and who cares? And then you try to play live and you're like, well, I'm really bad. So
my first band, I was actually a vocalist in. A really, really bad vocalist. I did inhales.
Nice.
And so I wanted to be a vocalist first before I was ever a guitar player in a band. And I mean, I've been playing guitar since I was like 13 or something. I feel like I started kind of late. So like I didn't really practice too much for a little while. And then the first band that I actually played guitar in was like a really like metalcore. It was Bullet for My Valentine. So it's like I had to really like work on chops again. So it's like I'm lucky I didn't start playing guitar at the time that I was like really into that mindset. So I learned through watching other people make that mistake.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, I feel like even doing the breakdown and stuff, I was thinking about gallops because I used to play in a deathcore band. I was thinking about how much better my chops were with my picking hand compared to like now. Because
I feel that right now because we don't have too many like shreddy sections. So now it's like I can play triplets for days and like play like almost like bleed Meshuggah type stuff. But like as far as like any kind of like I know 3 sweep shapes now. Like that's all I can do.
Right. Oh man. And then I wanted to go into the meaning of the human condition because I thought that was cool.
Yes.
Which is like the pursuit of meaning as a.
It's what inherently makes us human. It's the thoughts that we all have, the things that we all go through simply because we exist. In whatever form we're in. You know, like why are we here kind of stuff, or like why is my brain constantly attacking me kind of stuff. And it's just like the band was already called this before I was in it. But like when I joined, like it's exactly what I would want a band to represent. Because the way we write and the themes we have in our music very much line up for what the meaning of the human condition is.
Yeah.
I know it makes it sound like gimmicky. I mean, it's not. It just happens to make sense because I mean, the human condition is like all encompassing for our species.
Are you guys big into like the questioning of like we're really into just wondering how we're here Yeah. And like, then when you think of the big picture, we just had a huge conversation about like trying to understand infinity and eternity and like how everything's always been here.
Yeah.
You know,
I get really existential.
Yeah.
Because I will think about that stuff. And I can't answer those questions. So I'll just sit there thinking with my little brain and the little bit of stuff I know, just being like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But also, like, if like everyone in the band has some kind of like different, like, we're all different places on the morality scale of things. Like, because I believe in like a higher power and stuff like that. And I don't want to go like too far into that, but it's just like other people in the band don't.
Yeah.
So it's like, not only do we touch on topics of that kind of thing, it's like us as ourselves, like we don't even really all stand on the same page as far as that goes. So it's like, it's a really wide arc of questions, I guess. And any one person that talks to any one of us at a show will get a different answer on anything that they want to talk to us about, if they even want to talk to us about anything.
That's cool though. I think it's really cool when everybody can have different views and then be able to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, like that's
we coexist, like, for sure. And like bands that we play with, like, if they all feel a certain way, it's like they can get along with all of us, because I mean, whatever we individually believe, like, it's not going to change anything about how we interact with the people around us. So it's symbiotic for sure.
Yeah.
All right. And, I saw that you released, I can't remember if this was for Death Blessings. It was, the Guitar Pro tabs.
Yes.
Was that for Death Blessings?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Also, a little thing I picked up from watching the Norman episode of this is talking about Guitar Pro riders.
Oh, yeah.
And I was sitting there thinking, like...
Do you tab out before you...
I will sit there with a guitar in my hands, and like I'll come up with a riff first when I'm playing and think, okay, this is something. Like, I can hear and feel I can make a song around this. And I'm horrible at like retaining riffs. Like, if I don't write it down, I'm going to forget it.
For sure.
Even if it's the best thing I've ever written in the world, I'm going to forget it. So I use Guitar Pro as a way to have like a riff bank. So I have stuff from years and years ago. I've been using Guitar Pro for probably 12 years.
Yeah.
So I have stuff that's almost that old that I've kept around just in case I can use it for anything. So yeah, I don't write in Guitar Pro, I write with Guitar Pro.
For sure. That's how we do it too, is like whenever which is the process we're in right now, I just spent 4 hours tabbing out, like going through and tabbing everything out, which is always but I'm really good at the hotkeys now. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I can tell you what every like MIDI note of the drums are. 52's the China, 40's the snare, that kind of stuff. And then knowing like your control, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So I know all those too. It changed the way I look at songwriting. If I hadn't discovered Guitar Pro or any kind of like tabbing software, I wouldn't be the songwriter that I am. I would be sitting here right now. I bet. Because it taught me about notation and thinking about how the drums work with a song and how guitars layer on each other. Because, I mean, I can essentially write my leads over a pattern right there and not need another person or have to sit down and have recording software. I can instantly hear if something kind of works. And, like, some people will talk about how, like, since it's, like, old MIDI notes that... Because I still use Guitar Pro 5. I don't mess with 6, 7, 8, whatever.
The realistic sound. I remember when those came out,
So I still write using what it sounds like real video game.
Yeah. No, I love it, man. Because then you like... Because I started by writing... I would actually write my music in... I use Tux guitars, like the free version of guitar.
I've had that before.
Yeah. And I would actually write my songs like that, and it wasn't really until I moved here with him and he showed me how to record and everything, and then I switched to trying to write with the guitar and then going back, and because I have to tab, like Norman when he was talking about how he can just retain, I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like
like those Death Blessing songs, like some of them I cannot pick up a guitar and play that for you right now. I've totally they're gone.
but you really learn to like get down to the MIDI. Like I used to like send myself the MP3s of the MIDI and then just like listen to it.
Absolutely. I mean, it every single note matters, and that's what it showed me. Because like you could change one note in a riff and it completely changes everything.
Yeah.
And like if you're sitting there playing guitar, you may not think to do that, or you may not even, it won't happen. So like being able to really just be meticulous and scrutinize every single note, it just you put out a better product, I think, because you have every opportunity to make it a better product.
Yeah. So I definitely think that there's
a time and place at using it. I don't think it's bad to use at all. And like I think that people who use it
to write, I completely understand, because especially when I would do like dueling guitars and stuff, you know, I would always write it out. I'd always do fifths back in the day. That was my harmony, because it was, you know, you just 5 notes up or down.
Yeah.
But
yeah, fifths.
Yeah.
There's it makes me think of I would do fifths for some things, but I would do an octave fifth.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of made it sound like the band Death, and like it just made it sound like really evil. But
yeah, messing with harmonies is always fun.
Yeah.
But are you going to release?
Have you thought about releasing any more or just uploading them to Ultimate Guitar?
I could do that tomorrow. The only problem with that sometimes is like what I still have, like the last time I touch a song in Guitar Pro from when we start tracking it and actually have like a producer's ear on things, and some things will get moved around.
Yeah.
So like what you are hearing may not be completely true to what the last thing I did to it on Guitar Pro was.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Von Flew, I could put that one up tomorrow if I wanted to. But like Shogunai, the middle section, kind of like what I call the North Lane part, was a complete accident. We were with Koty tracking, and he was like editing something, but like the DAW messed up and things got moved around. So like there was like a bunch of space with just like the backing track stuff playing, and then the way that the breakdown came in was just not right. But like I was sitting there laying on a beanbag, and I was very tired. I don't know why. And I just remember hearing that. I was like, that's it. We need to do that.
That's wild.
So we like transformed the part into what it is now. But it's like, we technically didn't even write that. That was the universe saying, here's
right. Here's the part for you. That's crazy. It's a cool story.
Yeah.
So do you change things often? That's cool that you can go to the studio and like still tweak things.
Yeah, because like we've done every studio session with Cody Stewart. He used to play drums in our band.
Yeah.
Then he left us to go play for the Browning, and that was a very good decision for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we still work with him for everything. But now he's like moved out to LA. So like whenever we need to go in for some other stuff, we need to like figure that out. But like he's really been the sixth member of this band from the inception of it.
Yeah.
He's always been.
So you trust his, know, like whenever he says something.
Absolutely.
That's good to have.
Yeah, so when he gets his hands on something, like he knows what we like and what we want. And since we trust him, like that's how some things will change a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always nice to have kind of like an outside perspective, but not really, it's like somebody that you trust, respect as a musician to they're on the same team as you,
Exactly.
So like this needs to change or something like that.
He has our best interests in mind, but he'll still tell us if something sucks.
Yeah. It's always nice to have. It hurts, but
you need it.
Yeah.
You need someone to tell you that something sucks if it sucks.
Yeah.
I believe that.
You get better though. That's the cool thing about bands too, is just being able to like have people that you trust, and if they're like, this isn't good, it might hurt in the moment, but you're like, I respect that they think that I can do better.
Yeah, and that's a perfect way to put it, for sure. Like when you hear criticism, I'm gonna steal that. Just knowing that the person thinks you can do better.
Yeah,
that's such a good way to put it. So I try to be constructive when I give criticism to people, just because. I mean, if someone asks, I'm gonna give them what I actually think. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. So like I try to like impart some stuff to people if they ask for it, or sometimes if we're just in conversation and I'll ask, hey, can I let you know this thing I thought of for your set? Instead of giving like the, hey, that was a cool show, and then not saying anything about it.
Yeah. I know that's what, when my friends, any of my friends that do play music, especially from back home, they'll send me something. I'm like, do you want me to be like the friend that's like, this is, hey, like this is cool, you know, good job? Or do you want me to give like honest feedback?
Yeah.
Usually they're just like, I just want you to say it's good.
I just need that view on the video.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Did you see the thing about the end and exit in and the rock block, and they're trying to?
Yes, I don't want to say I know more about that situation, but I've heard things. As far as I know, like the in and exit in are fine.
That's good.
But then again, I may have not heard anything else yet. But so I don't know like the full story of why. I just know that it's like not that big of a deal right now.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
but it would seem weird to me for them to like tear it down, because those are kind of iconic venues. So,
I mean, like in that little strip, like a lot of people. Well, there's just a few people that own all that stuff right there, anyways, and those people own some other venues in town too. So, like from a business perspective, like they're leaving some money on the table, but then again, like they have their hands in other things. So, like maybe they could sell if the price is right, you know. But if that were to happen, like losing the end would be a really big blow to Nashville right now.
Yeah,
because it's the I don't want to say it's the best space for shows right now, since I literally work and book for a venue. But it's just it's become the new place for the heavy bands to go to, and that's what I'm passionate about, and they're doing good things for us. So if it were to go away, we'd really have to figure out like what's going to go on in Nashville.
Right.
Because like Aspire Presents, Mark Bradley's came down and started to do work here, and if he didn't come in when he did, I don't know like what our scene would look like, because Music City booking kind of getting out of the game, then other things happening with promoters in town, and then he came in at the right time to start sending shows here. So if there like wasn't a venue for him to send shows to anymore, like who's to say he doesn't try and just take everything to another city nearby and just leaves town, you know?
Yeah, true.
Which I don't think he would. Mark's a good guy. But it's just there's so many more layers to it than people may think.
Yeah.
Like what the future could hold.
That's good. That's good to hear though, because I know I was like, I don't even know where you could play. I mean, Rocketown, but you know,
there's things going on, and I could definitely do my best to accommodate things for sure, as I want to do.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like you'll take booking, like keep going further with that, or is it just kind of?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know like what my 5-year plan looks like with it. But I know that like I do want to be in the industry in any way possible.
Yeah.
Like I'd still want to play in a band, but I know like eventually like maybe that time of doing one or the other will come up, but like actually getting paid to do something that I really enjoy. It's like Rocketown's my like only job. I don't want to get too far into like personal finance, but like to be able to make a living doing what I love is great.
Yeah.
And being exposed to that, you always want more. And I also want to help out everyone else. You know, like if I make a come up, I want everyone to make a come up. So what the next 3 to 5 years looks like, I see myself still in Nashville booking shows, helping out who's ever doing what at the time.
That's cool, man. That's cool to hear. That was like one thing that we had a rap group on called Red Drop Click. And I was talking about how like the hip hop community, they always seem very like trying to bring everybody up, you know, within theirs.
Yeah.
And sometimes with metal, I feel like, especially at a local level, sometimes not so much. I haven't had a lot of experience of that too much in Nashville, where people are, everybody, like especially all the people we've had on, everybody's been super cool. But definitely back home in Kansas, people would, as soon as a band started going up, all the other bands start trashing them because they felt like they were, but it's just really cool to hear you say that, you know, you want to
Oh yeah, I mean that's why we are still around. You know, like I've been playing shows for 11 years and I've been in the scene for 12. Like I've seen every single band start and break up.
Yeah.
That's ever played in the Nashville scene within the last 12 years.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like competition's a good thing, but like trying to get in each other's way is not.
Yeah.
You know, like people like for say a big band comes to town, everyone wants to open for them.
Yeah.
There's usually 2 to 3 spots only. So you'll have 15 to 20 bands fighting for 3 spots on the show. And if the same band keeps getting the same opportunities, then some people are going to be a little upset with them. And we've been in that spot of being the band that gets a lot of these good shows. And so throughout the last 7 years of my life, there's just been like a constant thing of like people like respecting us for being around for a long time, but there's still that thing of like these new bands that start coming up and they want a piece of this.
Right.
And it's like, I want bands to come up and be successful, you know, but like we're also still here too. And like, I want to play cool shows too.
And you work for it, you know, and like that's the thing that people have to remember is you guys have put in a ton of work.
Yeah. You have to work for it. And like, so it's like, I'm not gonna move for anybody. You know what I mean? So if someone's putting in the same work, they'll get the same opportunities, and it has nothing to do with us.
Right.
So like their feelings on the situation may be a little misplaced. Is don't focus on what we're doing. You should just be the name that's next to ours too on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
So. But so as you can tell, we've definitely ran into the band beef kind of thing over the years, and it's like it's kind of unfortunate. But then again, here we are talking about the band now.
Yeah.
Know?
Well, and I just think it's odd because it's like I say it all the time, but nobody ever listens to a band and like, sorry, I can't listen to your band because I'm listening to this band, unless there's like Metallica or Megadeth. You know, like I get there's exceptions and stuff, but. Like, if a band's doing good, that's awesome, and, you know, because, like, that's your scene, and then, you know, like even playing a show with you guys, that's people coming out because they know you, you know, and that's good for the other local bands.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, as everybody kind of grows, then the scene grows. You know, I think everybody talks about how, you know, the scene's dead, but I don't think it's quite that. I think if everybody...
That phrase is definitely a triggering one for me. Because the scene's not dead. The people who say that usually aren't even the people that are responsible for getting people to even come to anything.
Yeah.
Like they are the target audience and they're just not participating.
Right.
Like the people that are actually in bands putting in the work that are drawing 50 people to a show, like they're not saying the scene's dead. They're out there when their next show is telling you when to come out and they're just not going to.
Yeah.
So like the people that like talk the loudest about that usually have like the least to say about it too. So yeah, it's a lot of people just aren't putting in the work, or a lot of people are just they were in the scene and now they're not, but they still want to talk about what they were doing when they were younger, what they grew out of, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
I guess that's a really good segue into how did you guys start bringing out, because that's one thing that we're definitely still trying to figure out. And I try like Facebook marketing and stuff like that, and it might bring out a couple of people and stuff. But how was kind of your guys' process of?
Okay, so when we had our old vocalist was a guy that was always in the scene. Like he had like a lot of friends that would come out to shows, and so really it was all like early on about all the people that we knew and all our friends coming out. But as we started to get older and those people stopped coming to shows, we had to reintroduce ourselves to a lot of the younger kids that were coming up. And so it helps that like our music is good and people like it. Like that's the most important part. Like that's never not going to be important.
Right.
You have to be talented. It sounds that sounded really weird. I don't want that to sound like
no, I totally understand what you're saying.
But the second part is just making someone feel like they cannot miss the show you're playing.
Yeah.
You have to give them a reason to spend $10, find parking, and not do that cool thing they have at their house.
Right.
So you have to just give each show like a special little like gimmick, a way to promote it instead of saying, hey, we're playing The End November 27th or something like that. Yeah. You tell them why they need to be there. Or you do something special like, hey, we're playing a new song, or we're doing like a merch thing, or we're filming a music video or something like that. Give them a reason to want to be a part of it. So that's the second point. And my third point is more of like a personal thing of how I promoted shows, like on like my Facebook or anything. I just started being like really, I don't want to say annoying, but like very in your face, marketing wise. And I kind of modeled everything after Conor McGregor. Yeah. Of how he's just like this in your face personality. And he talks a lot of game, but he backs it up too. So if you go back like years onto like some of my Facebook posts for promoting, sometimes it would offend people, but it also makes them want to come out and see like, is this band really as good as they say, kind of things. And like, usually like we put on a decent enough show to where people are all right with that. Yeah. Or they'll come like to the merch table, talk to us, and it's like, wow, they're actually nice people. Right. And there's some nice shirts here. I want to buy that. So
yeah, that's cool. Yeah. We actually talked about that in the last episode. Just being so confident in your ability to, I guess it's like provide value to somebody. Yes. And that probably comes from time and, you know, and understanding that you know that you can put on a good show because you've put on multiple good shows. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. You have to have that experience, you know? Yeah. So you have to be the band that plays first and gets 10 minutes sometimes. Yeah. And then the more you do that and the more you try and fail things and like you accidentally do something and people will come up to you and say, hey, that was a really cool thing that you did and you didn't intend to do it. And then you keep doing it other times. Like one thing that I tried to like gravitate to that was completely incidental was making really weird faces. And I steered hard into that. And like people were just like expecting it. And like I would talk to other people that were their friends if I was like at another show and telling them when I'm playing a show. And then their friend that I know that had seen us before would tell them, oh, like just whatever thing we were doing at the time or why that person should also come with them to the show. Like, oh yeah, this guy, he's the meanest looking person I've ever seen on stage. And like whether that's true or not, the person still kind of wants to know. Right. So it's like even like dumb little stuff like that, but like every single little personal conversation you have could potentially bring 1 to 5 people out to a show next time.
That's a really good way of looking at it too, because like in the moment you might not like, oh, it's one person, but you do that consistently over years, you know, and then that all adds up.
I feel like whenever we play a show, and if there's like 100 people there, we know 80 of them. Yeah, like they're like legitimately like our friends, like, so it's like I have some kind of personal connection with almost anyone that's going to be at a Nashville show. Whether like we hang out, it's like a different story, but it's like we still know them, and since they feel a connection to us, they'll gladly come see us because it is like seeing their friend, but they're also a participant. They're also just a paying customer that helps out everyone. So you really, I don't look at it as fans or anything. It's like my friends coming out. Right. Like, there happens to be a lot of them.
Yeah. You're providing value. You're giving them. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. That's just, I feel like that's the tough thing. And especially, you know, just for us. And I always try to think, but I think it's also just gaining that experience and being out there. And
being out there, even if you're not playing a show, going to a show. Because see, like with what you have here, this podcast, so good. You not only are building a platform for yourselves, but like having other people be involved, and then you could go out to a show and be like, oh, that's that guy that does that podcast. Yeah. And then like, oh, and his band's really cool too. Like I want to go to their show, or I want them to play with us. Yeah. So it's like you're providing so much value to people just through doing this. And I feel like this is a great thing to use to take yourselves to the next level. Yeah. So yeah, I would just say go to more shows. Yeah. And keep doing this.
For sure. And like play shows too. Like I feel like it's this you don't want to play a show until you think you're good enough to play a show. But to get good enough to play a show, you need to play shows.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
so I think we're kind of getting over that. And it's like, let's just suck for a little bit. And not suck, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, be not as confident.
Right.
So, yeah, I will put your name out there if anyone is talking to me about needing bands for something.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
If I have an opportunity myself when I'm booking something, I would love to have you guys out. Like, you're always on my mind for, like, shows that you guys would fit on. Like, I haven't forgot anything about you guys for sure. So I will have you out when you're ready and I have the right opportunity. And if anyone else has an opportunity, I'll try and help out with that as well.
For sure. I appreciate it. It's just, and that's the thing about the podcast too, is it's really cool because definitely want to go out to shows, and we've been talking about it and just becoming a part of the scene, you know, like how you're so integral to, you know, everything, and that's really cool. And that takes, you know, going and doing all that. But this has been really cool too, because you get to sit down and talk to, you know, these other musicians, and everybody's trying to do the same thing. You know, like you connect on this level because you're all pursuing something that most people are like, you're not going to be able to do it, you know?
Exactly. And we've all been told that this isn't going to work out. We shouldn't do it. We should do something else. Yet we're all still here trying to do the same thing.
And you get the crazy, like you guys played with Oceano, Whitechapel, like just so many of these, and you would have never got that without, you know, like doing this, you know, and that's what people don't realize. It's like, just because you're not making millions, like you're getting these experiences that are, you know, you can't trade.
And it all prepares you for what's next. Like, so I had a point and I kind of lost it. So
it happens. But I did want to ask about like booking. If you ever, this is just what I was thinking for you. Could you ever like bring in a big band and then put yourself on the bill, like with, well, I don't mean it like I just mean it in like if you did like go up to where you could do these bigger things, like is that something that's,
I've thought about this a lot. Because I wouldn't want any kind of like what some people would see as like nepotism, some form.
Yes, but I think it's like you put in the work to get to the point where you can do that. Like I would say that you deserve to be able to.
I mean, if I need to sell tickets for a show, I'll put us on it for sure. Because I can trust that. I know we have some sort of intrinsic value that we can assign to something. But if the band is like big enough to where like it doesn't need help, like I'm all about trying to help bands that deserve it. I'm not trying to say there's bands that don't deserve it. But it's just like, even like for every CD release show we've ever done, anything where it's like a special show that like we headline and set it up, I always try to get bands that aren't all on like the same bills. Yeah. It's like we did our tour kickoff earlier this year, and I had Rome Zoetta play, Purity Among Thieves. And it was just, I gave Oblique their first show in Nashville. I don't know if they may have booked like another one beforehand, but like it was supposed to be like their first show. Yeah. So it's like Rome Zoetta, they usually don't play with super heavy bands like that. But I'm very good friends with Camden, and like just wanted them to play because they're our friends. And Purity, they're young kids, and then giving a band their first show. So it's like whenever I try to put a show together, I try to give people these things that they can use to promote, but also give them the chance to do that. Yeah. So if I got to the point to where I could bring in a lot of these bigger bands, I would try to do the same thing, just because it creates an environment for success, for one. And two, it's just people remember that. Yeah. If you throw them a bone, they'll throw you a bone later on.
That's really cool. I didn't mean it in like a douchebaggy way. It's like, I'm bringing this band for, I was just like saying, because like that is a skill, you know, that you have put work into. And so I was just, you know, I didn't know if like bringing a big band and like how far you could take that.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to book Bring Me the Horizon, and we're going to open for them.
Hell yeah. No, you should. That would be cool, especially with their new sound.
Yeah, they are like the one band where like whatever I'm listening to in life at that point, they put out the album that fits with that. Yeah. So like from growing up as a kid, when they put out like their first full length, and I was super in like to that nasty deathcore with ignorant lyrics. And then as they grew, so did my tastes grow. And I've kind of wanted like us as a band to sort of mirror that.
Yeah.
Not to like the extremes that they have, but just like as you have seen, like each of our releases is a little more melodic, a little more extra stuff into it. So like there's definitely a band that we kind of model our growth after, at least me personally. That's why they were on my mind to bring up then.
I enjoy change. I think it's cool when bands can do that.
Yeah.
You know, like, and everybody's always like, you sold out. But if they sold out, they would keep playing the kind of music that everybody wants them to play. Like, that's...
Why don't people understand that?
Yeah. So I think it's awesome. And, like, and that's what is really cool with you guys, too. Like, just listening through, you know, and going through the journey and just hearing the music change. And I think that is awesome. Are you looking, like... So I guess what's next?
It's a good question.
Obsession 3.
That's in the pipeline, maybe. Yeah, we have 6 or 7 songs we're working on at the moment. There's maybe 2 that are anywhere close. It's like this is the first time in like the history of the band we don't have something we're sitting on.
Right.
So like
that's gotta feel good in a way too, though.
No, honestly, no, because like now it's like we really got to get to work on this next stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like not having any concise songs, just waiting to track it's on my mind like literally every second of the day. But there's movement being made. We'll have once the next year starts, we'll have something for sure. We're not gonna wait too much longer.
Yeah, not gonna have a 6-year gap or.
Yeah, we had between the Death Blessings and Esoteric, there's
4 years.
Yeah, and then between Esoteric to like this EP, it's like there's been a lot of time between each.
Yeah, it's really cool though that you grew in that like downtime, you know, as well, like just from like playing shows. And I don't know, it's really we flashing.
Unread.
Damn. Anyway, so it's got like 5 minutes we can make it through.
All right.
But yeah, so just going like releasing that and then growing, like, you know, as much as you guys did. I guess I shouldn't say that. Did you feel like the growth was in between like the transitional period, or was it the start kind of grew and then
there definitely was a lot of growth in that time, because like it'd be irresponsible if there wasn't.
Yeah.
You know? So like there's growth in our personal lives that led to us being more adult and being more mature to really think about what we were doing. I don't want to say there was too much conscious thought into what was going to be next.
Right.
But the growth was there, of course. And now, since we are going to be writing more on the fly, I guess you would say, there's not going to be like too much time in between. We're really going to see with this next stuff what's next for us for sure.
That's cool though. It's exciting because you're just like, who knows?
Yeah. There's been a lot of like internal stuff about like what is next. What do we want to sound like?
Yeah.
Which I don't think about that. I just write what I'm inspired to write at the time. And maybe not everyone is too into that. It's like, I'm the main writer for stuff. It's like everyone else is either kind of busy and like, or it's just I'm the one that just finds the time to do everything. It's how it's really always been. So like basically like what I write is kind of like, okay, I guess that's what we're doing. But I have to
you get everybody's
feel the room.
Yeah, you get everybody's input.
Yeah, so there's already been a lot of internal things of maybe let's not do that, let's more do that, and then I have to sit down and be like, okay, how do I do both?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't want to lose any kind of identity based on whatever's like popular right now. I'm trying to sound like anything, because that's going to be dated by the time this stuff comes out anyways. Yeah. So I don't follow trends. So who knows what the next stuff's going to sound like.
Just true to yourself. Yeah. I really enjoyed the EP, so just taking some of that and I always love melodic stuff, so.
Oh yeah, that's not going away.
Yeah. It's just going to go more that route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hell yeah. But all right, well, wish I had another battery. It's one thing. Good, one thing we'll eventually upgrade to. But thank you so much, and we should do another one sometime.
Let's do the part 2 with everyone else.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
I'd love that.
That would be cool. So cool. Archive number 21. 21.
Thanks for checking out the video, guys. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon for notifications. If you want to take it a step further, we got a Patreon page. Help videos like this keep coming. Thanks, guys.